Good evening, campers, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. I'm Commander Exorcist, and you are aboard the Don Pedro, my Type 8 transport, where I'm going to be doing some hauling today. I had planned to debut a new character. I'm working on a new character, and I had planned to debut him on the channel actually today, but I really am just not feeling well this week. So, I'm going to just do some simple hauling, and which I don't think I've ever really done as a Let's Play on this channel. I've done mining, and I've done plenty of on-ground stuff, but today we're just going to be flying around, and we're going to be doing some missions because I am chasing my federal rank. Now, believe it or not, I've been playing this game a long time, and I started out on Xbox, and I have very, very high Imperial rank on Xbox, which obviously I don't play anymore. But on on PC, it's only been recently that I got involved in trying to up my federal rank. So that's what we're going to be doing today, everybody. Hope you'll stick with me as I kind of fly around and enjoy myself, talk about the game, and just kind of general chit-chat while we run some delivery missions. So we're going to be, first thing we're going to be doing is delivering 122 units. Oh, wait. Okay, I gotta be very careful because I don't want to be delivering to like Hutton Orbital and some of these locations that take forever to get to. So I want to make sure that I pick good locations. So this one's got some heavy influence. Hello everyone, Future Exorcist here, and I just want to say that what's happening in the background of this video right now as I'm talking is wrong. You see, what happens in Elite Dangerous when it comes to missions is influence is what you need to improve your standing with a particular faction in a system. So if you want better missions, influence is what you need to go for. If you want to rank up in any decent amount of time, reputation is what you want to go for. In this video, I got it completely wrong. I got it backwards. Don't ask me why, because I don't know why. I just know that I did, so I pulled this video down and I'm putting it back up with this disclaimer over the part where I talk about influence versus reputation. So for the rest of this video, as you watch me fly around the galaxy delivering goods and seeking out as much influence as I can get, just know that I'm doing it wrong, and if you're trying to upgrade your rank, you should be searching for reputation. Take care, Commanders. Wilson Relay. You know, I did not look at any of those. I didn't look at any of those. And I should have. Let's see if it says. Okay, so that one's 57 light seconds. 8 light seconds. 222 light seconds. Okay, because I have done where I've been in here and I've accepted a mission, and it was to, oh man, what is it? Krasakakin Station or some weird like that. And it's like 0.12 light years away. Not light seconds. Light years away. Let's see here. Yeah, see this one right here? Wheel lock terminal. That's actually not too bad with SCO. We can do that one. We're starting to get... I really like they did this. So this used to not be a thing. A few years ago, you kind of just had to guess where you were going. But if it's got a blue indicator, that means you already have a mission in that system. Okay. So I think the internal report delivery, and that one's 1,000 light seconds away, so we'll take that one. All right. So I think that's going to be it. I think we're ready to go. And before we get started, everybody, the usual stuff. If you enjoy the content I create on this channel, this is your chance. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and let's get going. So I am also still flying with my Sol R1, Thrustmaster Sol R1. Absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving this stick. So we're going to go over here, and so when you do missions like this and you go to the galaxy map, I mean, you can, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can look around and see. So we've got a couple of missions in the general area, not too bad. You can look and do visually, so I can pick each star or each section. We know that's going to be down there. Is going to be the last mission that we do because it's the furthest away. But what you can do is you can go up here, hit the active missions, and it'll tell you how far you are away. So this top one is 12 light years, so it is the closest. So Wolf 1481 is going to be our first destination, and here we go. And if you're curious, I have zero care about people's opinion on auto dock and autopilots, Super Cruise Assist, and the others. So none of it is cheating. It's all there to be used. It makes our lives easier, and you are no more of a more exceptional pilot than I am because you can fly through the mail slot. I am perfectly capable of doing it. I just choose to do it an easier way. Here we go. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the stick. The Thrustmaster is really nice. And I thought about doing a follow-up video on its own, just talking about that. But I figured that what I'd do is I'll do kind of this hauling video, and as we're hauling and flying, I'll talk a little bit about the Thrustmaster and kind of what I've learned. Now, it is impossible, as you know, to play Elite Dangerous entirely on a single stick. It's just not possible. There's far too many controls. There's not enough buttons, and can you imagine what the buttons would look like on a controller? You know, if every control in Elite Dangerous had its own setup, it would look horrible. It really would. It'd be a flight stick covered in buttons, is all it would be. So, yeah, it's impossible to have a stick that does everything. So, what I've done with the Sol R1 is it's turned into my mouse. So, I have a lot of keyboard controls, and a lot of the, most of what I do in Elite at this point is controlled by keyboard, but the movements and the flying of the ship is done, with the actual joystick. So I was doing some work the other night. I was recording out there, and I took the Arborea down to this gorgeous carbon dioxide world, and it was covered in these jagged kind of like valleys and stuff. And so I just took that ship and was boosting through these valleys with this controller, and the responsiveness with the controller and flying through the valleys. I made like probably a 10 or 20 minute video of just me flying through the canyons, and I made it for stock footage. I'm not sure what I'll use it for, but my God, it was really, really something to experience. So yeah, definitely enjoying having the flight stick. I'm sure that it's useful I'm sure that the dual setup is useful as well. I've seen a couple of commanders that are using the dual setup. Personally, I don't think I could handle that. I'm trained so much to keep my hand, at least when I'm sitting in front of my PC, I'm trained so much to keep my hand available for keyboard interfaces than anything else. So yeah, like I said, I had a new character that I was gonna do, but man, I've been running crazy this weekend, and just overall struggling with some stuff. So it's nice to just kind of sit down and play and not be expected to act. I could probably do a character like even El Presidente would be a little difficult these days. Just because of the raw energy that it kind of requires. So, but I'll get there. I'll get back there, I promise. But for the moment, it's kind of nice this is what Elite, I guess, really is. Trading and being who we are. We are aboard, like I said, we're aboard the Don Pedro, my Type 8. And I honestly don't think that I think the Type 8 is the first ship where I actually started running cargo missions like this. A lot of times I would run like the ground interference stuff, even in Horizons where you interface with the data terminals and stuff. Okay, so you can hit boost once, and that's enough boost to get us docking permission. There we go. Setting station. Making our first, I think this is an internal report delivery. I had a thing the other night, and I talked to some folks in the burr pit about it. I think it was just me, though. But I had this weird bug where I couldn't get docking permission. And so I would move to within 7,000 kilometers. I would request docking, and then I got a simple docking request denied. And the pads were empty. There were definitely pads available. I was in good standing with the station. And it didn't matter how many times I tried, I got docking requests denied. Then I would go back, I would log out of the game, log back in, and then I'd get docking access. And this happened with several different stations on the same cargo runs. So like I would stack up the missions and I'd go do my cargo run, and it would deny me access, which was really weird. I don't need fuel. And internal report delivery. Oh, there's no option for... Okay, so we'll just take this one. It gives us a little bit of influence boost, not a lot. Not even enough to really show up. There's a lot of windows to get out of for some reason. So I knew that one was not going to give us much, but it was still worth it. So... we'll do the next internal report delivery, and then we've got three hauls of cargo to unload. But like I said, the Type 8, this is the first ship that got me actually hauling anything. I have a Type 9 that is my heavy hauler that I've been using. I've used for colonization. It was originally designed to haul tritium to my carrier, but in recent months has been my main hauler for materials to do colonization. This ship can do colonization as well, but it's only set to like 368. I can bump it up to 400, but I have to get rid of my fuel scoop. I bumped it down for the fuel scoop because with these missions, occasionally... I've had occasions where it'll go 7 or 8 jumps to the next station. Okay, so Wheelock. This is the one that's far away. It'll go to some far stations, and so I like to be able to scoop. All right. Let's do some Super Cruise overcharge, baby. You know, the overcharge is a really fantastic idea. It really is. It kind of makes the Elite Dangerous Galaxy just a bit smaller. Because like this 100,000 light second trip would be something I would cut out of this video. Because it would take us so long. Okay, we're going to let us overheat for a few seconds. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. All right. Excellent. Great. I thought that was wheel lock. Yeah, it's wheel lock, but like it's more. Is it wheel lock or is it wheel lock? I think it's wheel lock. But like I said, the SEO, it makes the game much smaller, and you know, after 10 years, you want people to be able to get places faster, and that's definitely one way to go about it. I like it because it's lore consistent, so we know why SEO suddenly appears. You know, it's the Titans and part of the outcome for our victory in the Thargoid War. I don't think I got... Yeah, I didn't get anything on that last delivery. Probably won't get anything on this one. Let's take a look. Oh, we should get a little bit because it's got an influence opportunity for us. Yeah, so yeah, the rank is kind of embarrassing a little bit, but after I finish my federal rank, I've got to go do Imperial, because when I switched from console to PC, I really just kind of hit the ground with what I had and started doing other things. I don't think I really ever did missions because I was just so invested in a lot of the kind of freelance stuff where you land on the ground and just obliterate the residents of a settlement or something along those lines. So getting out there and doing missions and gaining my rank, this is more of it's an early game thing that for Exorcist is more late game. It's something I get to after I've done everything else. Let's see here. Is that an Earth-like? What is that? Oh, no. It's a high metal content world. Even in the bubble when I'm running missions, I try to pay attention to the planets that I'm around in case there's anything interesting to visit. Out There returns this week, in case you're curious. It'll be a new episode this week. This will be the first episode that includes footage filmed with my new setup. So, new joystick filmed material coming this week. Yeah, that's kind of nice. I like those worlds. A lot of them are high pressure, like high pressure atmospheres, so I'm not sure if we're going to get to land on them or not, but it would be nice if we could. Almost there. We've come a long way for this one. Okay, here we go. Yeah. I've had that happen a little bit with them be like up on the top or the bottom. Whoops. And there we go. I see my lantern light bobblehead spinning down there. That's probably one of my favorite bobbleheads. Really, it sucks that it's going away. So I think it's going away on the 8th. If it's not going away today, it's going away on the 8th. So you only have a couple more days to purchase it. They say it's going away forever, but most of these, we know how this works. It'll probably come back for a time-limited exclusive for people to purchase. But I wouldn't risk it. Okay. So let's deliver our goods. And influence is what we want. The workers of Flosop. So how did we do? Yeah, no, we didn't get any increase on that one. I'm going to take a look here. Is there anything going where we're going? Like, I don't want to pick up any new stars. No, there's nothing going where we're going. Okay. If there had been a mission or two that was going to the same star system, I might have picked one up, but I don't think so. All right, we're delivering basic medicines in the name of democracy. Now we are on to our actual cargo hauling missions. Okay. So Panther Clipper. Let's talk. Let's switch gears. Let's talk about the Panther Clipper. Panther Clipper is coming out in the summer. It looks like we we got the reveal, the ultimate reveal recently, or last week, on Frontier Unlocked. And I consider it the worst kept secret in the galaxy. Like, we all knew it was coming at some point. It was just, it's almost a given after they had thrown out 4 or 5 different ships. And now, you know, when you're getting to the point where in your 6th or 7th new ship of the last 2 years, one of them had to be the Panther Clipper. In addition to the fact that they've introduced colonization and just the sheer volume of materials needed to haul for colonization, yeah, you had to you had to do something. It had to be the Clipper had to be somewhere in there. A couple of things I noticed. So, you know, I did a video where I talked about kind of Frontier's the word about, you know, what they had talked about the Clipper and everything, and I did notice a few things afterwards that when we look at the different ships that have been revealed, this one is far from being ready for prime time compared to the other ships that have been released and revealed. Like the Corsair, pretty sure the Corsair was ready for release the moment that they teased it, because they probably were working on it over, you know, they've been working on it for months. The Panther Clipper's been worked on for a long time as well. But, you know, there's just a lot about the reveal that screams not ready to go. And largely because, like, the partner program, we didn't know about it in advance. It was pretty obvious that it was going to be the Panther Clipper because they specifically said, we're not going to give you any advanced information about the new ship. And I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, you might as well have just said, hey, we're releasing the Panther Clipper. We're not telling you anything else about it. We knew what it was at that point. At least I personally, when they said, we're not giving you any information, in my mind, it's like, okay, it's the Panther Clipper, and they want to make sure that absolutely nobody sees anything about this ship until it's out. And so you had that, and then they revealed it using a pre-rendered, that was like a pre-rendered sequence. I don't think that was in-game at all. If you go back and you look at the sequence of the ship flying by, that is not the Elite Dangerous in-game skybox. And just the whole feel of it feels completely rendered. Or maybe rendered out of a test environment. Like a very basic, hey, here's a very basic star field for you to fly your ship around in. That's just kind of how I felt about it. So it gives me a sense that, you know, it's not exactly ready for public consumption. Approaching Wilson Relay. Some other things that made me kind of think the same thing about it was the information we got about it, which is very, very little. There's very little information about the Panther Clipper that was coming out, so I'm not sure. We don't have any numbers. Like, there's no information about cargo, speed, and at least in terms of numbers. There was plenty of descriptors talking about how it handles a certain way, feels a certain way, but not that, hey, you know, it hauls 2,000 freaking cargo, so it turns like a house. you know. I mean, I think it would have been great. They could have just told us, you know, she's built like a steakhouse but handles like a bistro, and I would have been totally fine with anything that came out after that point. All right. Wilson Relay. Welcome to Wilson Relay, not related to Wilson Port. So this is a mission depot. This is a cargo mission. So we are delivering medicine in the name of democracy. And we want that sweet, sweet influence. There we go, from 47 to 49. What a crawl it is for ranking up, chasing that federal rank. 24 light years is the next one, so that's one jump, and then we have one that is 124 light years, which will be several jumps, which will be a nice way for us to finish out today's kind of trade and chill video. That's not what I'm going to call it, but probably going to call it chasing that federal rank, because that's really what we're doing here. I plan to engage with some friends that are very good at combat once I get somewhat comfortable at ship-to-ship combat. You know, after 8 or 9 years of playing the game, still working on that. I might do some combat videos, but for now, yeah, I'm not very good at that. All right, Burex, or is it Bureau? So let's get our second to last cargo delivered. But yeah, the Panther Clipper, I'm very excited about that ship. I'll definitely be getting one, even if it's just to be able to haul stuff. I mean, it's nice. It's a gigantic ship. And it's going to be really impressive to see people flying that thing through the mail slot manually. I mean, people do it with the Federal Corvette all the time, which, by the way, is why I'm working on my my rank. Oh, which is why I'm working on this, trying to get my Corvette. But oh no, it's a loop of shame. I messed it up. Oh, how embarrassing! How embarrassing! All right. Wow, that was really embarrassing. See, I wish, Frontier, if you're listening, please, for the love of God, give us a filter option for mission objectives. Please, let me filter by mission objectives so that I don't have to filter through everything, so I can find my way. Wow, that is really bright. Oh, and it's got it's got 4 noob hammers. Oh my god. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're good. We're good. We're not gonna get hit. Okay. Christopher's Inheritance is definitely not a friendly looking station. Here in the sun with its 4 noob hammers. I don't think I've ever been here before. This is nice. Wow. Maybe I should build a Coriolis in my system with 4 noob hammers and put it near the sun. Wow. All right. And so, let's see, what else? Oh, yeah, Taco Tuesday is back tomorrow. Yay. Galnet came out with a really good article. And so on Thursday, we got a new Galnet article. So on Tuesday, you will get fresh, delicious tacos on Talk-O Tuesday. So that's already been recorded. So you will definitely be getting that one. Yes. All right. Survival equipment in the name of democracy. See, that makes sense. I had to deliver cobalt the other night in the name of democracy. That didn't make any sense to me. Yeah, 50. That's okay. It's such a chore. All right, let's set up our last mission. 6 jumps. My lord, you guys are going to be with me for 6 jumps, and then we will be finished. But just to talk a little bit about what's going on, they did the Trailblazers update, and so one of the things Frontier had talked about, and I mentioned this in my Panther Clipper and Trailblazers video, is they had talked about the possibility, or how commanders could build like a robust economy. How you were going to build these stations, you were going to have people and resources and all this stuff going on. And a lot of it just wasn't happening. It wasn't working. But it was consistent in how it wasn't working. Like, you would build these installations and all of them would generate like one to three commodities. It wasn't anything worth the effort as far as the payout. Lord, what's going on here? Because the sense was that why are we building these massive stations with all these people on them, but we're not getting any kind of payout? I think I want to try. Whoa. Let's see here. Yeah. There we go. I want to try to get that as my thumbnail, or a thumbnail. That is gorgeous. It's actually a really cool station. Let's see. I'm worried about the words are going to cover up. There we go. Because I'm worried the words are going to cover up on the thumbnail. I have to consider stuff like that. There we go. Cool. But like I was saying, you build these stations and you weren't getting anything out of them. And so, a lot of people's intention was to build these, like anchor stations, like a Coriolis or an Orbis or an Acela starport, and have it generate materials, and then you buy the materials from your station and take it to build other stations. Well, that just wasn't happening. And a lot of people would complain. They said, it's a bug, or it's just not working the way it's supposed to. And, it's possible that was the case, but it seems that Frontier has had a lot of things turned off as far as the beta while we've been building these stations. And so they went in this last update and turned on a lot of that stuff. And so my station in particular, and I talk about this during Taco Tuesday, my station in particular, my system, it went from like 200,000 people to like 12 million overnight. And so that's a lot of babies, or a lot of people moving in all at the same time. And now I'm generating just like normal amounts of resources like you would find in a regular station. So it makes me, as far as like a system architect, it makes me feel better about building things, because I feel like my stations and my starports are part of the actual ecosystem in the game. They're not just kind of something that's off to the side or whatever. There's something that is legitimately part of everything else. So definitely liking that. I'm liking the improvements that they've made. There's still a couple of little weird things with it. It's a lot of work to create new stations, but some people are really into that, and I applaud them for their constant drive to continue colonizing the galaxy. Get us a couple more jumps, and then we will be delivering our last bit of cargo and ready to shut down for the day. So it's actually been nice, kind of relaxing, just to sit and talk and fly a little bit. I'd be lying if I said that the having a new joystick didn't reinvigorate my love for flying in Elite. One of my favorite features of this thing is there's a tiny little button on the stick itself. It's just this little, it's a pinky button. It's like a button you hit with your pinky, and I've got that binded to my jump drive, so I can just fly around the star, tap that little button, never take my hand off the stick, or put my hand on the keyboard. Just the whole thing, one movement, boom, we are through the system. So that's a lot of fun. Kista. So we got 2 jumps to go. I always keep checking. I feel like the more I check that, the further it gets away. It's weird that after all these years, there are still new star systems that I've never been to in the bubble. I feel like every day I'm flying into new systems. Come on, baby. There we go. Boom reported. That is going to be our destination. 32C Pisceum. All right. Now I'm not going to accelerate this time until I've got it locked in. There we go.
Incoming mission critical message.
Incoming mission critical message. And dude. They're going to try to stop my supply run? Anne has found me. It's over for me. The survival equipment's just not going to make it. Oh, nice try, Anne. Probably going to wait till I'm a couple million meters away. Yep. Here we go. Okay, that's good. What? I didn't submit to anything. Oh, that's not good. I didn't submit to anything. This is a filthy lie. Oh, man. That's evil. What happened there? Oh, that was pure evil, man. I didn't submit to anything. My ship just dropped out of... Oh, it's probably because I didn't accelerate. So my ship was running on Super Cruise Assist, and when the Super Cruise Assist turned off, the ship went to throttle at 0. Oh no, I thought I was going to die there. She didn't get a single hit on me, though. I don't have any shields. And didn't get a single hit. Worst pirate ever. Anne. Wow. What's going on here? Am I around something? There we go. Cayley Orbital. So yeah, now that things are working a little bit better in Trailblazers, people are, I look for the colonization to even out over time, so I don't look for it to be the explosion of colonization that it's been consistently. That certainly doesn't mean the system is flawed or is dying or it's doomed, as some people like to say, but it's definitely going to even out. A lot of times you'll see that in games where like a new feature or even a new game will come out and it'll have like a massive player base or a massive participation numbers, and then it'll drop down and it'll be consistent. And it's that consistency point where you really find your measure of success. Can you keep your numbers consistent? So we'll have to see as time goes on. All right, we're approaching Cayley Orbital. We finally made it after a surprise interdiction. Actually, not a surprise interdiction. I knew those were coming, but a surprise submit to interdiction. My ship just decided that it was going to quit. That is not acceptable in any scenario. I do not submit. I refuse to be contracted. I do not consent to your interdiction. Okay, Cayley Orbital. Hello there. That was one of the first style stations that I built in my new system. It's a scientific orbital.
Landing gear deployed.
All right, and we are down. We took some damage from that? No, wait a minute. So I'm going to go to maintenance first. Everything's ship shape. And let's get this survival equipment offloaded in the name of democracy. And let's get our influence and 500,000 credits. Okay, 52 is good. That's a nice bump up from where we were. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me for this time of hauling and chasing that federal rank. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Take care. I'm Commander Exorcist, trying to get my ending here. Take care, fly safe, and I'll see you out there.